All right, let's talk about Friedrich Nietzsche. The philosopher with the hammer. His ideas can feel like a total labyrinth. They are dense, they're so often misunderstood, and honestly, they're profoundly challenging. But what if there was a key, a way to unlock his most powerful concepts? Well, that's what we're going to do today.
So was he a prophet or a madman? I mean, that's the question that hangs over all of his work, right? He just challenges everything we think we know about morality, about religion, about truth itself. Reading him can feel like a lightning strike. It's brilliant, but wow, it's also a little terrifying. So where do you even begin with a mind this complex?
You need a guide, and for this journey, our map is going to be the Nietzsche Dictionary. It's this fantastic resource that unpacks his most powerful concepts, word by word, and it makes his entire world so much more accessible. We're going to use its structure to navigate from his most famous critiques all the way to his most life-affirming ideas.
Okay, so first things first. We have to start right where Nietzsche did, with a hammer in hand. See, he wasn't just questioning old values. He was trying to tear them down completely to see what they were actually made of.
Now, this is probably his most famous and definitely his most misinterpreted idea. The death of God wasn't some triumphant shout of atheism. Not at all. For Nietzsche, it was a diagnosis of his time. He saw that the very foundation of Western morality, this belief in a Christian God, was crumbling, whether people were ready to admit it or not. Just listen to the weight of this quote. It's not a boast. It is a terrifying question. If we're the ones who killed God, if we've wiped away the entire horizon, what on earth happens next? What is supposed to fill that massive, infinite void? And that leads to the crucial follow-up question. If morality doesn't just come down from some divine source, then where did our ideas of good and evil really come from in the first place? Well, Nietzsche had a pretty radical theory about that.
He said there are basically two fundamental types of morality. First, you have master morality. This is born from the noble and the powerful. For them, good is whatever is strong, proud, and affirms life. Think of a Roman aristocrat. But then you have slave morality. This is born from the oppressed, and it flips everything on its head. It calls meekness good and strength evil, really as a way to cope with being powerless.
And the engine driving this slave morality is what Nietzsche called resentment. It's this toxic brew of spite, envy, and hatred. As the dictionary points out, with this quote, he argued that this bottled-up resentment actually becomes creative. It gives birth to an entire value system that protects the weak by labeling the powerful as evil.
And this is the great danger Nietzsche was warning us about. Nihilism. It's that feeling that if the old values are gone and there's nothing to replace them, then maybe nothing matters at all. It's the abyss that opens up after God is dead, a state where our highest values just devalue themselves into meaninglessness.
But Nietzsche wasn't the kind of guy to just stare into the abyss and call it a day. No way. He believed we absolutely had to overcome nihilism by becoming creators of our own new values. At the very core of his new philosophy is the will to power. Now, this isn't just about political power or bossing other people around. It's way more fundamental. It's the drive of all life to expand, to grow, to overcome obstacles, and to express its strength. You could even say it's the instinct for growth itself.
This quote right here is his radical redefinition of morality. Good is what enhances life, what affirms that will to power. And bad is what weakens it, what comes from decay and just giving up. It's a complete 180 from traditional slave morality. So what's the goal in all this? It's the Übermensch, or the overman. This is Nietzsche's ideal. And let's be clear, this is not a Superman in a cape. It's a human being who has the sheer courage to face the death of God, overcome nihilism, and create their own life-affirming values from scratch.
So yeah, the Übermensch isn't some final destination you just arrive at. It's a constant process. As you can see here, it's a journey. It starts by acknowledging that void left by the death of God. Then you have to reject the comfort of just following the herd. From there, you forge new values that affirm life. And finally, you embrace this constant, ongoing process of self-overcoming.
So, this brings us to the most personal and maybe the most challenging part of Nietzsche's thought. How do we actually live this way? How do we affirm life, not just in theory, but in every single moment of our existence? To answer that, he gives us this incredible, terrifying thought experiment: eternal recurrence. Just imagine a demon cornering you and telling you that you have to relive your life,
with all its joy and all its suffering, every single detail, exactly as it was, over and over and over again, forever.
What would you do? I mean, really think about it. Would you throw yourself on the ground and curse that demon in despair? Or would you look at it and say, "You are a god, and I have never heard anything more divine"? That question, right there, is Nietzsche's ultimate test of how much you truly love your life.
The ideal response for Nietzsche is something he called amor fati, a love of one's fate. It's the practice of not just putting up with what happens to you, but actually loving it. It's seeing everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, as absolutely essential to who you are. And this powerful quote is really the culmination of his entire life-affirming philosophy. It's his formula for greatness, that one wants nothing to be different. Not forward, not backward, not in all eternity. Just wow.
Okay, we have covered a huge amount of ground in a really short time, haven't we? We've gone from the total collapse of old worlds all the way to the creation of new ones.
We followed Nietzsche's incredible path, starting with the death of God and the two moralities, then pushing through to the will to power and the ideal of the Übermensch, and finally landing on that ultimate challenge, eternal recurrence and the love of one's fate, amor fati. It's a complex journey for sure, but hopefully made a bit clearer with our guide.
But of course, when it comes to Nietzsche, this is really only scratching the surface. I mean, each one of these concepts is a deep well of thought, debate, and frankly, personal challenge. So, what's the next step?
Well, if this quick tour through Nietzsche's world has sparked your curiosity and you want to really explore these ideas with more depth, the Nietzsche Dictionary is your essential guide. It's the exact map we use today to navigate this incredible territory. To continue your own journey, you can find a link to get your copy in the description below. Thanks for joining me.